Masturbation turned me into a cuck that was a sucker for love. So at the age of 17, I was talking to this girl from Arizona. This was a long distance relationship. And pretty much, I thought this girl was the love of my life. You know, I had been in a previous relationship, a couple years prior, but I felt more emotionally attached to this long distance relationship. And I was convinced that we was going to see each other, we was going to be together, and basically I was being a simp for this girl that I never even met a day in my life, right? I haven't met her in real life. I'm over here being this nice guy, saying all the right things, saying all the nice guy lines, right? Playing the part, trying to make myself favorable to this girl, when really the entire time throughout this, I want to say 8 to 9 month long distance relationship, that I was really getting played. You know what I'm saying? I was naive enough and dumb enough to believe that just because you say someone is your girlfriend, and just because you put a title on something, that don't mean that person is not going to be loyal to you or faithful to you. You know what I'm saying? Just because you put a title on something, that don't mean that person finna cheat. And guess what? This girl at the time had every right to see other guys while she was quote unquote seeing me, right? We have always been talking online, texting. I believe our first phone call, if I can be real with you guys, our first phone call was very awkward. I don't even think she was even interested enough to even talk to me on the phone, right? It wasn't even a conversation. This was how down bad I was, right? The phone conversation, guys, didn't even last for 5 minutes. And it was like this girl did not want to talk. But the whole time, while we're texting on Messenger the whole time, right? She is basically buttering me up. She's playing her role as a sweet, innocent girl, trying to make me believe that we were going to be together, making me believe that, we was going to see each other, that she was going to leave everything behind in her home state to come be with me. And we was going to have a life together. I literally had it all planned out. I literally, like a damn simp, like a damn naive cuck that I was at 17, I actually believed that me and this girl that I have never met, by the way, we never even locked eyes. I was convinced that she was going to be mine, that she was going to be my woman, right? And a big part of me at 17 was very insecure because everyone else in my friend group, they had relationships. So I felt left out. I felt very left out. So I said to myself, you know what? Maybe this is the opportunity that I find me a girlfriend. Even though it's not in person, it's long distance. But we've been talking. We were definitely talking every day. There wasn't a day that we were not talking. right? Had a lot of back and forth messages. You know, just this very corny and cheesy back and forth, you know, pillow talk dialogue between boy and girl, right? If you would have seen the messages, you guys would have been clowning me for ages, man. Real talk. It's like, when I look back at how I text, I don't even text like that anymore. And knowing me today, I'm not a big texter. Like, it's very hard to get me to text nowadays. But back when I was 17, I was very much a texter. I was always texting. I was texting long paragraphs, double texting, triple texting, using all these damn emojis like a goofball, you know? I was just being a fool. You know what I mean? I wasn't realizing that, hey, this is not a real relationship. This is, you know, this is fake. You know, this is a fake relationship. It's not real. And I was also delusional. I was very delusional and thought this girl actually loved me. You know, I couldn't wait to the day that she was gonna come and see me. Because the story that she had told me was she was being abused in her, you know, in her home state where she was living at, Arizona. Me living in New Jersey. That's across the damn country, pretty much, right? From New Jersey to Arizona. And she kept telling me, I'm gonna come see you. We're going to be living together, all this stuff, right? I believe she was about my age. Yeah, actually, she was about my age. We were born the same year, you know? So it was perfect. You know, we're actually in each other's age group. You know? She was talking about meeting all my friends and meeting my mother and all this stuff. Bro, I even had my mother convinced. You know, like, this is how down bad I was. Like, I was even telling my mother at the time that this is going to be my girlfriend. We're going to be, like, I was even convincing her that she was going to move in with me or stay with somebody, a friend, a close friend, and we was going to, you know, we was going to be together pretty much, you know? I don't know if my mom brought her or not. Maybe she did. She acted like she was buying it because she wanted to see me happy, right? But I knew at the back of her mind she wasn't believing that bull crap. So this whole long distance relationship, that it lasted for about 8 to 9 months. And it got to a point where by the next year I was starting to believe otherwise, that this was not really a relationship. This was just, you know, something to butter me up. I guess you can say this was a way to play me. I believe she was making up stories about her being abused and her being suicidal. Like, you know, judging by the text messages she was sending me, she sounded like she had a lot of issues. Just a lot of problems, right? And pretty much she would always say, you know, you're the reason why I'm going to cut myself, right? And I'm like, wait a minute, I'm the reason why you're cutting yourself? That don't make any sense. So at that point, I knew she had some problems. I knew there was something wrong. Or she was just saying that to get a reaction out of me. Because maybe she was playing this little game to think that me and her were actually going to be a thing. And, you know, my friend at the time, he had basically introduced us to one another through a group chat, and that's how we kind of met. He was friends with her on, you know, Facebook, and you know, then we added one another on Facebook, and that's how we started talking. That's how we had gotten the conversation going, right? Now, you guys have to realize something. You know, I think it's common sense that long-distance relationships are not real, okay? Don't ever believe what a girl or a woman says in terms of messages, all little cutesy pillow talk messages, like the feel good messages that she will send you to kind of like butter you up. And when I look back at that atrocious time in my life, because I was really down bad atrocious, the friend at the time, I feel like he kind of set that one up, right? Because he was in a relationship too. He wanted to see me in a relationship, but he knew that I wasn't really good with the girls, right? He knew that I wasn't good at getting girls or really talking to girls like that, because, you know, when it came to masturbation, which was something that I kept private, right? That kept me single. It made me into a loser, basically. Turned me into one. So the loser that was on me, it carried on into friendship groups. It's like people could kind of tell that I was a loser, that I was basically a cuck, that I was, you know, down atrocious. Really didn't have much respect from anyone. So when I look back, my friend at the time, I know he definitely set that one up. And to basically, you know, tell her to say all these things to me and, you know, kind of get me buttered up, kind of selling me the story, selling me like the dream of us being together. And I'm not saying that's true. I'm not saying that, okay, that was a setup from his part, but the more that I looked into it, the more it just kind of makes sense. Like the longer I think about it, because he's the one that introduced us to one another, had us talking and whatnot. So, you know, he was always the one kind of bragging that he was in a relationship, kind of, you know, being the type of friend that would show off his relationship, rub it in my face, pretty much. And that would be the case. You know, so I just kind of put two and two together. You know, I'm not saying it's true. It's just my theory, you know. Just to kind of manipulate me and to, you know, trick me. Because I was naive. You know, at that age, I was very naive. It was easy to kind of take advantage of me. It was easy to pull the wool over my eyes. Right? Especially through text messages, man. You know? Because you don't know what's what. But you got to have the ability to read in between the lines of messages. To know what's what. To know what's true and what's not true. You feel me? So that was basically it. You know, that was a long distance relationship, I suppose. But the point is, man, I was someone that was a habitual masturbator, ejaculating all the time. So I had no respect. There was no attractiveness to me, right? There was really no life in me. It's easy for people to disrespect, to disrespect you, to walk all over you, to take advantage of you, to play you, diss you. You know what I'm saying? It's easy for people to taunt you, and you just have this loser aura. You got this loser, defeated aura about yourself. And that's what I had. When a girl gives you attention, she starts talking to you all sweet and nice and kind and bubbly and all that stuff. You believe her. You don't question anything that this girl is telling you. Okay? You'll believe anything that she tells you. And you won't call her out on her BS. Right? And during our text messages, like, this girl was borderline crazy. I could tell at that point. It took me a while to kind of figure it out. But basically trying to blame me for the reason why she would cut herself, because that's a thing that she would do because she had, I guess, mental illness or mental health problems or whatnot, right? A lot of issues. So every time she would tell me that, it would be like she's trying to make me the reason as to why she's cutting herself, right? This whole rah-rah speech, how I really want to see you, I want to be with you and all this stuff. It's all lies, But when you're a simp on that level, when you're a cuck on that level, you're going to buy into the nonsense, right? You're going to buy into the nonsense. You're going to believe everything she tells you. And that was the state that I was in as a man. Well, I don't want to say I was a man. I want to say a boy, a young man, I guess, right? A young boy. That was the state that I was in. And I did not have the intelligence to call out the BS. And like I said, I believe that my friend at the time was setting that whole thing up to kind of make me look bad. And it did make me look bad. I think I was being clowned behind my back the whole time. So I want to really make this point, use this, my story as an example. When you just waste your life force, you become a sucker for love. You do. It's one of those loser traits that you will possess when you fap all the time. Because you don't have the intelligence, you don't have the authority, you don't have the wherewithal to really know what's real and what's not. You'll fall in love with a woman or a girl and you'll think she's the one. You'll think that she is everything to you. She can't do nothing wrong, right? You may even be down bad to a point where you believe that a long distance relationship is a committed relationship, and silly me. That was all my fault for believing that nonsense. But I just want to let you guys know and kind of share with you guys the state that I was in as a 17-year-old. That was about to graduate high school. That was the delusional, simpish state of mind that I was in. Okay? That was during a time where I was more of a texter. Nowadays, I'm not much of a texter. I don't like to text anybody. I don't just text anybody anymore. Okay? I'll either call you or I'll see you in person. But all that text and stuff, I'm not into it no more. You know? But listen, the point of this video is do not waste your life force. Wasting your life force is not worth it. Beating the drum, stroking the chicken, it's gonna turn you into a loser, man. It's gonna make you very unattractive. It's gonna make you weak. People will take advantage of you. You're just an easy target for people, and people can sense when you are weak. They can sense when you are an easy target. You know, it's just something that people know, and women, they can sense it. They can sense that loser aura on a guy. They just can. They just have those senses that will let them know they're dealing with a loser. And you'll become a sucker for love very quickly. Very, very quickly. So that being said, make sure to like the video for the algorithm. Thank you all for watching. I'm out, and peace.